In this question, it says the angle of deviation depends upon, right? And these are the factors given over here. I mean, the options, not factors. Well, this diagram that I have taken is not a part of this question. This is called the angle of prism. That is the angle by which these two lateral surfaces, I mean to say that the rectangular surfaces are inclined. And this is the angle of deviation, the angle made by the incident ray produced forward and the emergent ray produced backward. So this is angle of deviation. And let's read the options over here. It says the angle of prism. So this angle of deviation, yeah, that it do depends upon the angle of, it depends upon this angle called the angle of prism. And the next option is it depends upon, yeah, it depends upon the nature of material, right? What kind of material is used. We can say that nature of material, or we may say optical density of the material. And then the angle of incidence of the prism. This is the incident ray, as you can see, and this is the angle of incidence. Yes, it depends upon this also. So correct answer is all of these. So we have a question. You should first know that this diagram is not a part of the question. I just have taken to explain the answer. So question here is, which of the following statement is true for unisexual flowers? So what are unisexual flowers? The one which have either the male gamete or the female gamete. Not both of them is present. Like it is possible that this stick pistil is not there, right? But anther is there. Or conversely, it can be either only pistil, that's also known as carpel, and this, and stamen is not present. So either of the male or female organ is present, right? That's called, so we can say that unisexual flowers are the flowers which is having either carpel or stamen, not both. And bisexual, which has both. In the diagram, this is the bisexual flower I have taken. Now, if I read the option over here, what does it say? The first says they possess both stamen and pistil. That's totally wrong, because then it will be a bisexual flower. Second statement is they possess either a stamen or pistil. That's true. We can say that this is correct. The next one is they exhibit cross pollination. Yes, it has to be cross pollination, as you can very well understand. If they have only say anther but no stigma, how can they make? How can they do pollination? Okay, right. Now, if I read the next one, what does it says? So this is a correct statement. First of all, I should mark this as true. Now, the next one is usually flowers possess only stamens, cannot form fruit. Obviously, the fruit is formed by what? The fruit is formed by the ovary. And if they don't have ovary, they have only stamen, then how can they form fruit? So therefore, this is also correct statement. So correct one are, let's say, if I mark it once again, this is second, third, and fourth. Second, third, and fourth. Yeah, option B is correct in this case. The question here is, which of the following statement are usually correct for carbon compounds? So number one, these are good conductors of electricity. It should be wrong, because you know that covalent compounds are poor conductor of electricity. Next is they are poor conductor of electricity. It should be correct, because covalent compounds are poor conductor of electricity. If I read the next one, it says they have strong force of attraction between molecules. It's again wrong, because it's true for ionic compounds and not for covalent compounds. Sorry. I mean to say that the statement is true for ionic compounds and not for a covalent compound. Carbon compounds are covalent compound, and therefore they are poor conductor of electricity. I repeat, they are saying that carbon compounds have a strong force of attraction between the molecules, which is false, as you know that the bond formed are not between ions, and the bond is weak over here. So they have low force of attraction, right? Weak force of attraction. Now coming to the last, the carbon compounds do not have strong force of attraction between the molecules. So yes, it is the correct statement. So correct is second, and wait a second. The statement correct should be second and third, first and third. First and third is option A in this case. The question here is which is the correct sequence of the components of reflex arc. So for that, I have already taken the diagram from your textbook. But you can observe that if you see the pathways, first it is the receptors, then through the sensory neurons, it travels to the spinal cord, passes through the relay neuron, and through the motor neurons, it comes to the effector. So if I see the correct, the first is receptors, then muscles. No, it should be muscles should be at the end, right? So if I see the check, the next one is a receptors, then motor neurons. That's wrong because from receptors, it should be sensory neurons. So this is also not correct. Now the next one is receptors to spinal cord, not correct. Receptors to sensory neurons. Yes, this is receptors to sensory neurons to spinal cord. That is spinal cord here. And the motor neurons, this is the motor neuron here. And then the effector, which is the muscle over here. Muscle and effector are same over here. So D is the correct option in this. In this question, we have to choose the forms in which most plant absorb nitrogen. Well, plant absorb nitrogen in the form of nitrites and nitrates. As you know about there are certain bacteria called nitrogen fixing bacteria that converts atmospheric nitrogen into the soil. So atmospheric nitrogen, in spite of it present 78% in the atmosphere, cannot be directly taken by the plant. So therefore, it relies on the bacteria which convert, and also by human input, like we put manures and urea fertilizers into the soil. And protein definitely not, because plant cannot obtain protein is a complex form of nitrogen. So we will go for, and these are soluble form, right? These are soluble form of nitrogen. So the third and fourth is option B is correct. The question says a metal compound A reacts with a dilute sulfuric acid to produce a gas which extinguishes burning candle. Burning splinter or candle is same. Right. So which gas extinguishes burning splinter or burning candle has to be carbon dioxide. So we should know that the product or one of the gas so released is carbon dioxide. Now, as I read further, it says identify compound A and the gas produced. So gas produced is clear. Now we have to identify the compound A. And here it is reacting with acid. So A, we have to write down the balanced chemical equation, right? So here the metal compound A can be what? You know that metal carbonates or metal. If I write down the general formula, you know that metal carbonate, I'll just use rough symbol, reacts with acid, any dilute acid, right? As would write mineral acid to give what? Carbon dioxide, and a salt is produced. Now check here. We have to write down the balanced chemical equation. As of now, we don't know which metal compound can be metal carbonate can or metal bicarbonate, can be sodium carbonate, potassium carbonate. So that's why we should read the question till the end. And it says that here the in this reaction one of the compound formed is sodium sulfate. So therefore we get an idea that it must be a carbonate of sodium, right? So therefore we need to write down the reaction over here, and this is what we will write over here. The compound A must be sodium carbonate. Even sodium bicarbonate will be correct, right? If I write instead NaHCO3, that also is correct. As you know, both metal carbonate and metal bicarbonate react with acid to give salt, carbon dioxide, and water. So you will be writing this reaction, that is sodium carbonate Na2CO3 reacts with H2SO4 to give this salt called sodium sulfate, carbon dioxide, and water is released. In this question, it says the speed of light in a medium is two-thirds the speed of light in vacuum. We have to find the refractive index of the medium. Right. So what we know that formula for refractive index, if I use, it is the ratio of the velocity of light in vacuum divided by velocity of light in the medium. I'm using c as the convention symbol used for indicating the speed of light. Now, since we have to get refractive index, what is given here that the speed of light in that medium is 2/3. So can I say that here the speed of light, that is v, in that medium is 2 over 3 times the speed of light in vacuum? One more time. The speed of light in medium, which I use the symbol v, is 2/3 the speed of light in vacuum, that is c. Now here I'm going to replace these values over here. Let's check here. I can replace, let's C be C, and I can write V as what? 2/3 of 2 over 3 times C. This get cancelled. On reciprocating, it's coming as what? 3 over 2. 3 over 2 is what? 1.5. Right, 1.5. Do not write any unit here. As you know, it's a ratio of the similar quantities. So we'll say that 1.5 is the refractive index of this medium, that is 1.5.